Hi everyone, trust you all are doing well, and in this one I will quickly show you the different libraries that I use to create the website. So if you want to remove some of them, you can easily do that. Alright, so the first one is the animate on scroll library that I use, this one right here. Alright, so obviously a link in the description if you want to go and read more about them and the features they offer. So as you can see, the fade amp, this one right here. Okay, and I'll quickly show you how to install that. Now, I will link the GitHub repository for you as well. So in this one, I made use of the NPM, so you can obviously just make the links and initialize it like this with the tags, the basic installation. The other one was I used the NPM install right here to actually save that. So I'll quickly show you how I set it up. So if you want to remove it, you can. Right, so the first thing is if you go to Resources, Views, Layouts, Guest Layout, you will see there is a partial for the head section component that is created, and you'll see the link for the libraries at the top right there. The next thing that I've done is I use NPM to install it. So if we go to our Resources, and so Resources, JS, App.js. So inside here, we basically, after you npm installed them, you will see we got to import AOS from AOS, and then we initialize it right here. Okay, so that's basically the process, and then you've got it all working. In order to work with them, let me just open our view just to show you how it works. So resources, views. Right, so basically, I just opened the home.index. You will see there's a data AOS offset. Now, this is basically when do you want the animation to happen, and then we have a delay, and then we have a duration, and how it must animate, fade up, fade in, whatever the case may be. All of that kind of information is in the documentation. So if you see the data AOS in your blade templates, you will know that this is basically that library right there. Okay, so if you want to animate them in a different way, you can come and set them right here. But I will leave a link for you guys in the description. If you want to change them or just remove them completely, you just delete all the data.ios right there. So there will obviously not be a lesson on how to actually use it. So I just kind of just a quick overview. The next part is the installation of the Blade UI kit. Let me just show you how that works. For those that might be new to the channel, as I've used this before, right? So we go to bladeuikit.com, and what we do is we go to the Get Started, and basically what we do is we go to the installation, and you will see you just clear the config file first, and then we do Composer require Blade UI kit. And if you don't want this to be in, you just do Composer remove Blade UI kit. Okay, so that will remove it. And the next one that we have is the Blade UI kit icons in order to install that as well. So let me just go here. So we go to installation, and we do Composer require Blade UI kit, Blade icons, and then we obviously publish it right there. But now the thing with this is you have to make sure that you have a resources SVG. Let me just show you quickly. Right. So just make sure when you do the Blade UI kit installation that you will have a resources SVG folder right there. You can leave it empty. It's all good. Right. So after you've done the installation, you will see a config file right here, and then you will see a Blade UI kit icons right here and a Blade UI kit right here. Okay. So this is basically for our forms, text editors, and things like that. WYSIWYG editors that we're going to use right here. Yeah, so this is the tricks editor, pick a day, and it's what we're going to be using in this one. Right, so for those that might be new, so for the icons, what it does is it gives us an option to actually type in anything. Let me just go to views, Blade, let me just go to post.index. All right. So what that does is it gives us the ability, let's say we want to type in an icon, so we can just use the X notation to actually create the icon instead of actually pasting in the whole SVG right here. Let me just quickly get an icon and I will show you how it works. So as you can see, if I want to use the hero icons, I need to install it. So let me just go to hero icons. So all of this is not available out of the box. So basically you have to choose which one you want to use. Now in this case, what I've done is I used the font Awesome Regular and Solid, all right, and Zond icons and hero icons. So basically if you want to use any icon, so in this case, let's go for, let's say feather icons. Right, now in order to make use of it, I need to do a composer require that blade feather icons right there. So I require it first and then I can use it. Okay, but I don't have to every time when I want to use a feather icons, I have to redo the composer install. I only do this once in the installation and then I can use it. Right, so just to make the library basically available. And then we use the X notation, and you can just obviously just copy them and paste them in here. All right, and then what you can do as well, because they come with default classes, so you can add the class and styling however you want. So width, the height, all that kind of stuff with Tailwind. All right, so that brings us to our next topic with Tailwind. There's a couple of changes that I've made to the Tailwind class. Right, so let's go with the first one. So I've changed the font, obviously. So everywhere where it sans, I use Inria Sans and Inria Serif. Right, so if you want to change the fonts, you can change them in here. And if you want to change the color scheme, you can come to the color scheme right here. So colors, theme, and blue. So then there's my different shades of blue. And then I have light, slate, charcoal, and gray. So you can just change them in here. All right. So that's the first thing that you want to do if you want to change the theme of the fonts and the colors. All right. So the next thing that we want to change as well, if you want to, is there's some classes that I created inside the app resources, CSS, app CSS, the overlay, the one that you see in this overlay right here. So if you want to change the color, you do it right there. Okay, so you change from which color you want to change it right here. Right, so there's a couple of classes that I created right here, and then the headings I kind of did the settings right here. This is the hero header, and then site navigation. So anything that you want to change, you can come and do it right here. So after you've made the changes, you can just open up your terminal and do npm run dev, and it will basically compile your CSS in JavaScript. Okay, so that's it for this one, guys. So the next one, what we're going to do is we're going to discuss questions that you might want to ask yourself and a customer. Let's say you're designing this blog for a customer, certain questions that you might ask the client and yourself. The reason for that is it's quite handy because later on, let's say you design something from scratch, and later on there's changes that needs to be made or additions that needs to be added to the blog. But the problem is that it will kind of break your code if you didn't in the beginning anticipate those changes. We cannot all see in the future, but you can make your job a lot easier if you kind of think of those kind of things ahead so that you don't have code breaking changes further on. All right, so that's what we're going to discuss in the next one, where we're going to set up all of this right here. All right, so if you have any questions, please ask for me in the comment section. I will leave the links to all the libraries so that you can be able to go and read up more about them in the. So thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, please give it a like, and adios.